The European Union should be an area of freedom, security, and justice without border controls between member states. That's what the treaties say, and that's what the Schengen Border Code says, and says for a number of years now. And that still applies today after the reform of the Schengen Borders Code last year. Unfortunately, governments in various countries, various member states, have been reintroducing and prolonging border controls within the Schengen area for a number of years now, and in my sense, without legal justification, without political justification. We brought that matter to the attention of courts in Austria and in Germany, and we brought that matter to the attention of the European Court of Justice that ruled in our favor in 2022, ruling that border controls between Austria and Slovenia are unlawful. Courts in Austria and in Germany have ruled that border controls at the borders between Slovenia and Austria, between Austria and Germany, and possibly also between Poland and Germany are unlawful. And we will keep on that fight because governments do not comply with court orders any longer. To talk about the case that led to the European Justice ruling in the Landespolizeidirektion Steiermark, a case of 2022, I want to give you some more context. My client, a professor of law at the University of Amsterdam and an Austrian national, crossed the border in between Slovenia and Austria twice in 2019, crossed those borders several times in his life, but in those two occasions, he was checked by the border police. And in one of these occasions, he refused to identify himself and was fined, was given a fine of 36 euros for failure to comply with the orders of border police. He brought that matter to the court in Styria, arguing that the fine is unlawful, but that the border control he was subjected to was unlawful as well. And the court in Styria decided that it couldn't decide the case without getting a preliminary ruling from the European Court of Justice. And that's how that case was brought in front of the European Court of Justice in Luxembourg. That court confirmed the obvious, that if a member state wants to reintroduce border controls for a longer period of time, it can only do so if it provides legal arguments, obviously, but also a factual basis for new threats to public safety. Cannot simply say that terrorism as such or migration as such allows him to disregard the Schengen Border Code basically for eternity. We pushed the same argument to German courts later on, and we got a ruling this year on 18th of March 2025 from the Upper Administrative Court of Bavaria that also found that the German government failed to provide sufficient basis for the reintroduction and prolongation of border controls in Austria. In another pending case at the Administrative Tribunal of Dresden, we still follow that line of reasoning, and we hope to win another victory over border controls in the Schengen area soon.